President William Ruto runs mad after the former President Uhuru Kenyatta held a closed-door meeting with the key opposition leaders, signaling possible coordinated effort to challenge him in the 2027 general election. The meeting, which took place on April 1st following the burial of the former Kirinyaga Senator Daniel Karaba, brought together some of the country's most influential political figures in what sources describe as a strategic push for unity and a single opposition candidate. The 40-minute private meeting is now emerging as a significant political development with far-reaching implications for the future's leadership. According to reports, the gathering included the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, NARC Kenya leader Martha Karua, DAP Kenya leader Eugene Wamalwa, former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i, Public Service Cabinet Secretary Justin Muturi, and Siaya Governor James Orengo. Sources familiar with the discussion indicated that Uhuru Kenyatta played a central role in convening the leaders. The objective was clear: build unity within the opposition and lay the groundwork for the formidable political challenge in 2027. The former president said to have cautioned leaders against internal divisions, warning that any attempts to break ranks could weaken their collective strength. He reportedly raised concerns over alleged efforts to fragment the opposition, urging those present to remain focused on the common goal. That goal, according to sources, is to front a strong presidential candidate capable of unseating President William Ruto. This development comes at a time when political realignments are beginning to take shape, nearly 2 years ahead of the next general election. Uhuru Kenyatta's renewed visibility in political strategy signals a notable shift, and after maintaining a relatively low public profile since leaving office, his involvement now suggests a more active role in shaping the country's political direction. Earlier the same day, during the burial ceremony of the late Senator Daniel Karaba in Kirinyaga County, Uhuru Kenyatta publicly addressed the need for national unity. He urged leaders to rise above ethnic divisions and political rivalry, and also calling the governance anchored in political policies and principles. His message reflected themes that have defined his recent public engagements: unity, stability, and leadership focus on service delivery. He emphasized that Kenyans are increasingly demanding accountability and leadership that prioritizes their welfare. And the former president highlighted the importance of integrity and principled leadership, particularly in the period marked by heightened political activity. He warned that divisions rooted in ethnicity continue to undermine national progress and cohesion. The burial ceremony itself became more than a moment of mourning. It turned into a platform where key political figures addressed the state of the nation and direction of the leadership. Several opposition leaders echoed concerns about governance and also political climate, reinforcing the growing calls for change. And at the same time, President William Ruto has intensified his engagement with voters, particularly in the vote-rich Mount Kenya region. The president has launched a strong campaign to consolidate support, emphasizing his administration's development record. And during the visit to Nyeri, just a day after Uhuru Kenyatta's remarks, President Ruto pushed back against criticism and affirmed his commitment to delivering on his promises. He framed the upcoming political contest as a choice between the development-focused leadership and what he described as political theatrics. The president highlighted key areas of focus, including agriculture and healthcare, pointing to progress made under his administration. He cited improvements in coffee prices as an example of economic gains, attributing the changes to reforms aimed at eliminating exploitation within the sector. President Ruto also dismissed attempts to influence his relationship with voters in the region, maintaining confidence in his connection with the electorate. His remarks underscored a growing political contest for the Mount Kenya vote, a region that played a decisive role in the 2022 election. Out of the 7.1 million votes he secured, a significant portion came from the Mount Kenya bloc, and this makes the region a critical battleground as both sides position themselves ahead of the 2027. The president's allies have also stepped forward to defend his record and rally support. Leaders from Nyeri County voiced their backing, emphasizing the need to focus on development rather than political divisions. They argued that ongoing government projects and economic initiatives should take precedence over the political disagreements. Meanwhile, the Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has taken an active role in mobilizing support. In engagement across Kirinyaga, he addressed residents with a message of continuity and confidence in the current administration. He also responded to political opponents, signaling readiness for the competitive electoral contest. Kindiki emphasized respect for all leaders, while firmly defending the government's position and the track record. He warned against what he described as intimidation and divisive politics, stating that leadership should be rooted in the service and respect. And these parallel developments, an opposition seeking unity and a government reinforcing its base, highlighting the early stage of what is shaping up to be closely contested political period. The involvement of former President Uhuru Kenyatta adds a new dimension to the unfolding landscape, and his past political partnership with Raila Odinga, referenced during the burial ceremony, served as a reminder of previous efforts to bridge political divides. The partnership, which transformed from rivalry to cooperation, was built on shared vision of national unity, and now similar themes are emerging as Kenya approaches another electoral cycle. Projections by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission indicated that over 1.2 million new voters are expected to be registered. This adds another layer of complexity to the political equation as both sides seek to appeal to a growing and diverse electorate. The stakes are high, and for the opposition, unity could determine its ability to mount a credible challenge. And for the government, maintaining support in key regions will be essential to securing a second term. As political activity intensifies, the focus is increasingly shifting from the rhetoric to strategy, and behind-the-scenes meetings, public rallies, and policy messaging are all becoming part of the broader effort to shape public perception. And for ordinary Kenyans, the impact of these developments will ultimately be measured by leadership outcomes. Issues such as economic stability, access to healthcare, and agricultural productivity remain central to public concern, and the call for leaders to prioritize service delivery over political rivalry continues to resonate. And as the country moves closer to 2027, the choices made now by both leaders and voters will play a defining role in determining Kenya's future. As alliances form and political lines are redrawn, Kenya stands at the beginning of the new chapter, one that will test not just its leaders, but the unity and direction of the nation itself. That is all for today from Kenya Lens Media. Kindly, if you are new here, consider subscribing as a way of motivating us and also helping us grow this platform as we bring you contents from Kenya and beyond.